Tonight's No Limit Hold'em cash game. The stakes are $1, $2, and we're going to be taking a look back at a game on the 26th of September. Your commentators this evening to look after you are Dan Grant and Simon Hemsworth.
Okay, new hand.
Scott, this is the first time, as you just said to me, that you'll be commentating on yourself. Does that enter your mind when you're playing, or do you just not even think about that and just get to the table?
I wouldn't say I thought about commentating on myself, but I just didn't want to make myself look stupid.
All right, I see. I was going to say, do you, because you know how some of these go, especially with one or two crazy players at the table. Are you looking to just win some money? Is that like goal number one of this? Is it as simple as that?
No, well, when I play poker, you obviously want to win money.
Right.
But that wasn't like the aim of the game here. I was going to have some fun, but
Okay.
it's full ring. There's a couple of like loose cannons.
There's a limit to the fun you can have, I guess, if everyone's playing classic full ring strategy as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's unlikely anyone really is.
Okay.
But I'm generally a nit anyway, so you'll learn how to fold by watching me.
No one watches this show and is going to adjust their play accordingly, so no metagame from you, please.
There's no metagame.
No
Ask Eddie Reg, I'm a nit.
No metagame.
Anyone.
Please disregard all statements made by Scott Shelley on PKR TV. That's the disclaimer. All right, well, it's a straight draw and a flush draw.
Big
for
draw
Cabo.
here, yeah. And the set of eights on the button for King Kong.
Kind of an easy decision for King Kong.
What was
here.
the action on the flop? I missed that.
Couldn't tell you.
Okay.
couldn't tell you.
Be interesting to see how the flop played out.
Well, they're reasonably deep as well.
Yeah, see, that's the main thing about a TV cash game. Unlike a normal cash game where most players are going to be like 100 big blinds deep, you can play through the streets here a lot more. And you're going to have lots more decisions, and
Yeah,
it makes it tougher.
He was considering the shove there. Well, he certainly wasn't going to pass, but he was
Yeah.
considering the value of the reshove.
I think he feels that King Kong's strong, and he doesn't want to. He feels like he's calling every time he shoves, and he'd rather just peel one off.
Yeah, he misses and he checks it out.
I bet.
And that, you would imagine, is the end
Yeah.
of that. King Kong desperately hoping that he's up against a jack, but no dice. Well, there we go.
JJ Bird at the table.
Indeed,
as well.
former
I haven't-
PKR Live runner-up. Still going strong at the cash tables, I think, from time to time when he's
Yeah, he's been. I think he moved house recently, hasn't he? So he's been
a little busy.
Yeah, a little busy bee.
Or maybe he needs to pay
a little
for the
busy
house.
elf.
Maybe he needs to grind it out to pay for what is a eye-wateringly expensive part of your life. And here he goes.
Oh, here we go. I don't think I'm gonna pass this.
3.5x.
It's cash game.
No, I know. I was just hoping it'd
All right,
be more. I was going to be like, I got no. Oh, it's killing me. I got no problem with like 4x, 5x.
How do you feel about my call here?
Well, it's fine.
Okay.
Having just commentated with Rhinoceros, I am now well versed.
That's why I'm
in the
asking
art
you.
of-
Yeah. I just
of
mentioned
poker.
Yeah.
I'm a better man now than I was a few hours ago, and so yeah. Sometimes, I mean, 3-bet would have been fine. I would imagine 2, but
I fold.
I remember Helmuth always said, interesting things can happen when you flat with a pair of 9s. Let's see if it happens.
Do you know
now.
what I've discovered? I don't know if I've discovered it or if it's a well-known fact.
Right.
But hands multiplied by 3, pocket pairs multiplied by 3, flop sets the most. 3, 6s, and 9s.
Okay.
3s especially. But I think 9s is up there as well. 3s and 9s.
It sounds like you've put some thought into it.
Yeah,
and really
this
like
is- you ready?
crunch the
Here
numbers.
comes the flop.
Okay.
Yeah.
These flop though.
Yeah.
These flop.
It is indeed. You've got position on these two. DD is well known in these games.
Yeah, I've been playing
Certainly.
some higher stakes seeing goes with him recently. We've been trying to get the 200s going.
Yeah, he's a good player. Certainly knows what he's doing at the cash tables. Has
Yeah,
got some game.
Without a doubt.
End of the road for JJ, you would imagine.
Yeah, I can see it going fold, and I'm probably going to find the tank call.
Yeah. Do you remember this?
Oh, no, I
hand, or
don't
do
remember
you?
this hand. I might actually raise here.
Okay.
It wouldn't shock me if I raise here. But I think either line's probably in my options. There we go.
Okay. Interesting.
I just feel like my hand is 9, so this flop is quite close to my set range. And he's going to have a lot of hands that are going to be just c-betting this board.
And what are you doing if he moves in?
If he moves in, I'm folding.
Fold.
Okay.
But if he calls, I get to see a free card on 2 streets. I'm in position, he's going to check to me. I might turn a gut shot. If not, I can check back and reassess on the river
Shelley, the table, big stack.
for probably one hand.
Moving it around. DD 57.
Fold.
Raise.
Opens with the Queen Jack.
Fold.
Well, there's a lot of room for manoeuvre in cash games, I guess.
Yeah, I don't mind this.
Fold. Fold.
DD's going to like his hand here.
Yeah, having just reloaded to the maximum. Oh no,
Raise.
hang on. Yeah, that is true. 500 is the maximum
Yeah,
here.
500 would have been the max.
Je me couche, fold.
Well, it's not too bad opening to 3.5x under the gun with a hand as weak as Queen Jack, but what you do with it in this spot will tell us something. Wow.
Wow. That was the option I didn't expect.
No. I like it more than calling.
Oh, way more, yeah. I mean, now they're repping a big hand, a really big hand. They've opened under the gun 4-ring cash game.
Indeed.
And now it's not even a massive 4-bet either, especially for cash.
Oh, it's interesting because, yeah, I mean, you're never going to pass kings here,
Oh, no.
and so that's hand over.
I mean, I think they may have not just shoved if the player was playing 500 too. But with 300, I think it looks weaker when they shove. So I like DD's shove here. Because if they click it back, it sort of looks pretty strong.
Yeah, and the Queen Jack, well, it's creative and unusual and unpredictable. And I guess unfortunate to have come up against a monster in that spot.
Wonder how long I keep that chip lead.
All I want is like $1,000 pot. It's not much. Well, I mean, it is much, but
The old 9-tree.
okay.
I fold.
Ibra from Sweden gets out of the way. DD instrumental in this game so far.
Yeah.
Not least because he's been smashed in the face with the deck.
Yeah, he's a
Couché.
lot of good cash game hands.
And JJ, not known for his unluckiness. I think he's typically people assume that he runs quite well, which may well be unfair. Although a little birdie actually called JJ told me that he had a graph that said that he was some ridiculous number of buy-ins over EV for 2012.
I would say he runs good generally anyway, but I wouldn't.
Cue ridiculous flop.
I was going to say I wouldn't begrudge him running good.
No,
'cause he's a
no,
lovely guy.
obviously,
he's a lovely guy
absolutely
and he's humble. He's not like
Yeah.
So I don't begrudge him for running good.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really done me over.
Although I
much.
think if anyone were to beat me in a pot and then rub my nose in it, I would love it to be JJ because it would be so unusual. I would just be shocked.
You know,
if
he'd
he did
actually feel
that.
guilty. He'd have
Yeah.
that guilty look.
Well, this is most unfortunate for DD but
think-
they're deep enough that you don't automatically go broke in this spot with King Queen.
Oh no. Now, I think Didi's going to approach CJJ as sort of a type player who won't be free betting from the small blind or wide range, even though it is a TV cash game.
Yeah, could we be set up for a pass on the river? I mean, you can see him calling the turn.
Yeah, I think calling 2 is fine. I think he might pass the river. I think you might be right.
The river.
I think JJ's running a bit bad because the king didn't pop off.
Yeah, true
But-
that. I mean, what are you beating here if you're DD? It's very difficult to pick a hand.
There's not. I don't think there's a hand that JD does it for value. As if he's turning a hand into a bluff.
Sure.
I mean,
Ace King is just about possible if you have some information about your opponent to suggest.
and he
would
can
do
have
that.
Ace King a clubs hand like that, where he might not have barreled a turn, but he picked up a flush draw. But I think DD might find the pass here.
You can see how difficult it is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really considering the pass.
I think against another player like Patato Salatas, he's made the call.
He has made the call. And
I
you know
don't
what?
think it's a bad call, but it's just a situation where you're really only beating a bluff, I feel.
And actually, it's one of those ones where your DD you're thinking about it, you're almost there with the right decision, but you can't quite bring yourself to do it. You make the call and you're kicking yourself.
I can't lie, I've made the wrong decision a few times there.
Well,
but
you make the call looking almost to prove that you are right in
Yeah.
a way. You're like, there's a tiny chance. Oh yeah,
I think you just got to look at the player. I think JJ's not going to have show up with a hand there worse than King Queen, unless he's got Ace King's like the only hand. He might. I don't think he turns jacks into a bluff. I think he just checks the river.
Yeah.
Looking to get the showdown.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, do you think the fact that he had a king, may have just because it was a blocker to ace
So
kings
glad
and
he was
kings?
fold that. I was going to say. I mean, we've got the same hand, but I was like, if I fold this on the
Yeah.
TV, I should be slapped.
I wouldn't have minded a 3-bet.
Yeah, I
there.
know.
Against Wellbet especially, she wouldn't like to be playing a big pot out of position.
I'm
I
a
would
gentleman. I'm just going to.
I'm just gonna what? Lure her in. Well, neither of you are gonna get the chance. The question is, how big is that? I mean, you could peel, but I don't think DD.
I think I remember this hand, and I've got a funny feeling about it.
Okay. Well,
I think
Yeah.
it goes.
Three bets. It's big.
I think well-bet calls. I fold.
Wow.
I think,
Wow.
which I'm not a fan of. Looking back at it now, I think that's what happens.
Okay.
It's quite a while ago this game. I think, or maybe well-bet. Does she 4-bet?
Well, let's see, shall we? Instead of running through the options, normally this bet would get through, would it not?
I mean,
Raise.
yeah, there you go.
Wow.
It's a TV cash game, so their range is obviously going to be bigger. I think.
Right.
Like, I think full ring. You're never going to ever 4-bet Queen 10 of diamonds.
Right.
But, well, especially from this situation where you've opened from quite early and the blinds 3-bet you. It's all like that's nearly always strong. Especially full ring, it's always strong.
And now what's the option? He peels because they're just about deep enough.
Here comes the flop.
Oh, well, she gets there, which rather denies us the opportunity to see what would have happened. Certainly,
what if they,
well, if she misses the queen or the 10 and
But you,
any over, well, an ace or a king comes, she's going to be
And
using that
here's
to
the
her
definitely.
advantage. And also, if it comes if it comes like 9 high, how far does she go before she gives up? We'll never know.
I mean, it really depends on the textures because a lot of 9 high boards are going to be good for her, like 8 9s, stuff like that. Diamonds, she's going to be barreling them sort of hands anyway.
This is a really rough spot for DD-CCC. I mean, you've got to put her on a hand. There's only 1 or 2 that include a queen, really.
I mean, she checked back the flop,
Wow.
so I don't think you can ever fold jacks
Here
into the turn.
comes the river.
And that's why I said I had a funny feeling about this hand, 'cause I remember laughing about it afterwards.
Do you know the funny? I also think Wellbet. What does Wellbet put her opponent on? Something like jacks or 10s. Funnily enough.
I
Oh,
mean,
no, well, she's
they
got
might
a 10.
even have she might even put them on a hand that had a beat on before the river. I mean, she hasn't got too much information apart from that he's flagged pre-flop her 4-bet, so she's going to be quite strong.
Yeah,
he's going to be quite strong. Sorry, and when he's checked the flop, she's checked back. So you don't know anything about his hand there, and he's called the turn. He could have king queen in this sort of spot.
Yeah, it's a very strange.
I'd
hand,
imagine
really.
Wellbet would have checked the river if she hadn't improved.
I think it's one of these spots where you're so confused about what your opponent's got.
Yeah.
And you've got enough equity in the hand that you call and just you need to find out, really.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of information to be had in actually calling and seeing how she's
Yeah.
played this hand too. It's most unusual.
I don't think it's that unusual.
Really?
I mean, I like her line pre-flop.
Yeah.
She's got a tight image. I mean,
There you go.
it's full ring. She's going to get a lot of respect when she 4-bets pre. I don't
Yeah.
think he's going to expect her to turn up a queen 10 of diamonds, but I like that she's 4-bet pre.
Yeah.
And I like she's checked back the flop.
I think he might feel a little bit aggrieved
Yeah.
that she got there with her one
Yeah.
over.
I think she's checking every river apart from that improves her.
Right.
But I think I play it pretty much. I don't know if I'd take that line pre-flop, but I do like the way she's played the whole hand. Like, I like the check on the flop once she's 4-bet pre, just to control the pot a bit. 'Cause she's flopped quite a big hand, but it's one of them hands that could be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like if her opponents hit that flop,
Fold.
she's in trouble. But luckily for her, she had a hand that could just
Yeah.
play her off.
Yeah, and DD-CCC, he's had a couple of really tricky calls to make, and unfortunately he's called
Yeah.
both times when he maybe could have got away, but it's a big ask really.
Yeah, it's not obvious folds. Neither of them have been obvious folds. It's been a spot where it's
And we'd be going absolutely bananas if he'd made both folds. We'd be just like,
Oh, yeah,
he'd be
just-
a hero. But
that'd be just like class cash game play. Yeah, but
Okay, here comes the river.
well, the mighty 8 too. But oh, there we go. It's a complete nothing pot. And so, well bet, courtesy of that 4-bet, which for me shows in a nutshell what she's like, that she chucks in enough
Okay,
unpredictable
new hand.
poker in amongst
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
solid poker, I think, is a fair way to describe her.
as the viewers may have noticed, I've just disappeared from my seat because I remember this cash game. I got disconnected.
Most
point.
disappointing.
I was quite upset.
Must try harder.
And now the waiting list was ridiculous, so I
Yeah.
was never getting back on. So I think I just gave up
Yeah.
trying to get back on.
Well, Cabo,
We have a new player.
Raise.
makes it 3x with a suited ace. Thois, actually quite a well-known cash gamer. And we've seen his aggression before plenty of times, but he gets out of the way. And Masters champion Jenny Doom.
Yeah, I could see them peeling that from the button. Nice cash game hand in position.
Fold.
Very evenly
Okay,
matched,
here
these
comes
two.
the flop.
Oh, it's a actiony flop.
Indeed.
Been playing a bunch with cab recently.
Right, here's
Yeah,
the
it seems to
turn.
do pretty well in cash and tournaments. Kind of a good all-round player.
Yeah, good solid player. This is
Well, nightmare turn for Jenny.
yeah, and
But she
Okay,
just
this is
calls.
the river.
although Cab's happy he's hit his flush, he's gonna think, why did it have to be the jack of spades?
And Jenny, likewise, will be concerned with the spade.
Yeah, why did the jack have to be a spade?
Yeah. So it'll keep them both kind of relatively
Yeah,
small.
I think it's gonna just go bet cool.
Yeah, $30 or $40, quite
mean,
possibly.
No, I think more.
I think more.
Yeah, I think looking to go 65. He might even do something a bit.
Bet the pot and pass to the shove.
Yeah. No, I was right, 65. Look at that for.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to call. I don't see any merit in
Oh yeah,
raising.
no, sure. But if he does get raised there, he's maybe sighing and calling, or maybe passing, but he didn't get raised, so yeah.
Yeah, I think if you get raised there, they've just always got it.
Okay, new hand.
I don't think I think he knows he's well enough. Jenny Doom's good player. They're not going to be doing anything silly. I think when if they raise the river, then the pot's not big enough where they'd be raised bluffing a lot.
Right.
Like it might be in a situation sometimes they could bluff there, but I just don't think it's ever a bluff in that spot.
Yeah, there are one or two players we could choose who might well try it there, but with their
And
image,
even
it might be
so,
hard to do.
even so, it wouldn't be in that pot. Maybe that size, maybe in a bigger pot where it's worthwhile making the bluff.
Yeah. Well, coming off the back of that nut flush, Cabo makes it 7 with a king jack of clubs.
Yeah, everything pretty normal now. DD gonna flat or raise options here. Can't fold.
Raise.
Goes for the latter.
Hopes to get position on whoever calls,
Huge,
but
huge sizing. It's like 5x to 7.
yeah, well, Mr. Blue's he's only got 63, so
Get it in.
he could well get it in.
It's just
but,
a gamble.
Well, but he knows he might even be multi-way, which is not ideal.
But he's probably thinking, could turn this 60 into like 250 if we have
Yeah.
5.
Well, actually, if he shoves it, you could easily get a pass from the jack, king, and the deuces. But
Yeah. No, you might get it heads up. You never know.
Yeah. Interesting spot now.
I call.
But they are so deep.
Yeah,
that,
I think Cab's calling, knowing that Welbeck's going to be calling like 100% of her range here. Once they call the 7 there, I don't think she's ever going to fold.
Here's the flop.
He's flopped his 3 hour,
Thank you.
Check.
but he's not home and dry yet. 61%.
Yeah, D, you would imagine there's a chance to follow it through just because it's quite a dry flop.
It's
But-
dryish, but I think it's going to hit your opponents quite
Right.
a lot of time. I like checking back here just because you've got some cards you like improve with. The 10 obviously gives you the nuts.
Right, well, the pot's 105.
Yeah.
Bet 62. Diamonds, possibly aces,
They could. I
and
mean,
possibly tens.
I think I prefer calling to raise in there,
River.
just because you don't want to raise and be put in it because I think you have to call off because you just commit in so much to the pot.
Good call.
Yeah, and Cabo's going to win a nice little pot here. Oh, he checks to induce. Will it work?
I think I check back. I check back here with DD's hand just because you've got showdown value.
I bet.
I mean, you can't beat many hands, but it might be a fact that Cabs bet the turn with a flush draw or like Jack 10 hands. Cab's gonna make the call here.
Bet.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't imagine the way the play has gone that it's too difficult a call. In which case, you might say if Cab thinks this long, then it makes the bets more correct the longer he thinks about it.
Show me.
Yeah, I guess so.
You see what I mean?
There you go.
They check back the flop after 3 betting pre.
Yeah, he's never going to pass.
So they're
though,
never
is he?
gonna. I don't think they've ever got Ace King there. It's if they've got a hand like Queens where they've thought, oh my god, I've flopped absolute massive here. Let me
New hand.
try and do something.
Yeah, well, Cabo
I
wins.
think that was the only hand he was right about 2 queens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good pot, and that's 3 in a row now. He's motoring. And D will credit for her bluff on the end. You've at least got to have the heart to pull the trigger.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
fold.
I think I'm not a fan of it just in that spot just because you've got a hand there. You've got the nut ace high. You can beat any non-pair hand.
Right.
So I don't mind checking back there.
Fold.
But yeah, with a hand like, say they did have Jack 10, that's a spot where I would bet.
Right.
Fold.
Well, aces Elkie, welcome to the table. He's going to have position on
Here comes the
Thoris.
flop.
And another action flop. He's certainly going to think that there's a good chance he's ahead here with the 4. Pot's 37. Elkie makes it 22.
He's going to protect his middle pair. A lot of bad turn cards. Every turn card in the deck's going to be an over.
Yeah, the usual question facing a flush draw with no overs is, do you check raise or do you check call? He goes for the call and hits.
Check.
And, well, Elkie's drawing dead.
Yeah, he's improved. He's added a gut shot to his hand, but yeah, he's drawing dead, and it's going to be interesting to see what Forrest's line is here.
Yeah, when does he bloke the pot?
I would raise here, personally.
All in.
Maybe not that much, but
Whoa.
depends. If Elkie's not playing that much behind, then I don't think that's. Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah, I actually don't mind that. I think if you raise any smaller, you're committing yourself to him anyway. This looks more weaker. It could look like a 1-club hand.
Yeah, but to Elkie, he makes the right
Yeah, I
fold.
mean, Elkie, even if Elkie is winning, he's going to have to fade like half the deck.
Yeah.
Because his opponent's going to probably have a club, they're going to probably have maybe a straight draw, and they're going to have 2 overs.
Yeah, and the majority of the
So,
time, it's a kind of a general phrase.
His
but
opponent could show him just a bare ace of clubs with another overcard, and you'd probably still make the fold a lot of the time. Because you're flipping.
And, you know, it always feels great to make a hero call and be right and hold and win a big pot.
Yeah.
But how often are you going to be right compared to the many times that you're in massive
Exactly.
trouble?
Even if you are right, as I said, you're going to be coin flipping at best. But yeah, as you said, you could be drawing dead like
Here's
that.
the flop.
Well, Mr. Blues,
I bet.
he's got a little piece of that with the gut shot on the over. Cabo, likewise, a little piece.
Yeah, I can't see Cabo just folding. I was about to say he might just set them in.
Holy moly, how much has Mr. Blues got?
They've got 50
well,
bucks. Yeah. No, he
There we
wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't setting it in for chunks. That's what, I thought he might set him in. Yeah, I
effective
like
stack's
it.
1,000.
I like it.
Yeah, tricky.
He's applying
spot.
pressure. If he does get called, he's got outs.
Fold.
Yeah, he would have been better going with the pocket 5s earlier on.
Yeah. Oh no, I wasn't talking about the king nine. I was talking about Cab's play.
Oh yeah. But
But yeah, I would like the pocket to go to pocket 5
rather than the king 9.
But he didn't. He's still in there.
Yeah.
Looking for that spin up.
It looks like a good session for Cabo and for Welbet here. He's
Yeah.
had, I mean, every cash game TV session I've seen where Cabota Joe has played, he's given it a good go and either
Yeah.
been significantly up or significantly down, which is not what you can say about everyone.
No.
I mean, it's only 2 hours long, and we
Yeah, he's definitely an action player. I mean, I've been playing a little bit recently with him in the cash games. He likes to mix it up.
Yeah, Thoris also likes to mix it up with the 4-5 off. It's a lovely little hand, really, super deceptive.
Not a huge fan of the 4-5 off. I mean, the 4-5
Come on.
suited. I mean, it's
Here
just
comes the flop.
it's not gonna flop well.
Right.
A lot of the time. Like
But, you know, as long as you don't get too involved with, like, one pair type hands.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough. But I mean, if you're gonna start opening 4-5 off, there's pretty much a big range of cards you're gonna be opening.
I'm sure he would also open all of that range, too, I would think.
I check.
6-3 off.
Quite possibly. 6-4 off, maybe.
Sounds
The
better
gap's
than
too
6,
big.
yeah,
The gap's
6
too big.
Okay, yeah, the gap is.
And here's the
Well,
10
Mafia
card.
Poker checks it. I'm not quite sure why. It's a free card, but maybe he just wants to win a medium-sized pot rather than get himself
Yeah, I mean,
into heavy
I
water.
don't think it's that bad. I think on the button there, he's going to keep the pot control for this just in case someone's got a 7. He's also not worried about the spade because he's got the biggest spade out there. So if it does come a spade on the turn, he's going to have the nut draw.
Yeah.
And not only that, he's going to induce people to bet into him. And he's only playing 100. I remember he was only playing 100 at the start of the hand, so I like this.
And so it's the opportunity to put another bet in there. His opponent certainly didn't scream strength on the turn.
Yeah, you're going to see Mafia and he's got 80 behind, so kind of like the way they played the ace-jack. If they had a bigger stack, I don't think they can ever get full value from it by checking the flop. But with that sort of stack, it's a great line, I think.
Yeah,
Especially four-way.
Well, he certainly seems to have extracted the max from the original razor.
I mean, sometimes you are going to see an ugly turn card like an offsuit king, for example. But it's a risk you've got to take sometimes.
Ok, je relance.
Well, hand over.
Fold.
Yeah.
Well, and there we go. We finished the session with a small win for the Ace-Jack. And thank you, Mr. Scott Shelley, for joining us.
Pleasure.
Congratulations there to Welbit, who won $390, although worst off was DD who ended up $718 down. Scott?
I think she played really well. I mean, the Queen 10 hand, I really liked how she chose to play it. I mean, pre-flop, it's a good spot for Didi to find a squeeze there, so he doesn't always have to have a hand. And she's made a 4-bet there, so she's hiding the fact that she's got a marginal hand. And then the way she's played it throughout the streets, I really like controlling the pot and getting value from a weaker hand.
And Dan, not a session to remember for DD or double D.
Yeah,
C.
whatever he calls himself,
Yeah.
It was definitely one to forget. But he didn't do a lot wrong in the grand scheme, although obviously he made incorrect decisions, as we could see from the cards on the screen. But making big folds is one of the toughest parts of the game. And, you know, he flopped. There were a bunch of coolers there, really, in effect. I mean, he flopped top pair against top set, then the jacks against Welbet's hand. You know, a bunch of really brutal situations where he's being put under a lot of pressure with hands that are basically marginal. So really difficult. And, you know, tough folds are part of being a winning cash game player. You could see that he was thinking about making them, but he just couldn't quite lay the hand down, right?
Yeah, I think in both hands that you're mentioning, it was pretty sick spots for him to be in. I mean, the Jack's hands against Welbet, it's just hard for him to put him on a queen, because I don't think there's many queens in her 4-betting range.
Indeed.
So he has to go from there.
Brilliant. Well, look, thanks, guys. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time at PKR TV.